Y'all said it's not clear. Still water. Yeah, I don't know what to do then. Let me go into. Because I feel like it'll be this way. Oh, let me do the take the reduce background noise thing off of it and then see how it is. How is it doing now? Yeah, if it sounds like static borging, then I mean, let me try to go turn off the echo cancellation. Although we were just on here yesterday and everything was fine with it on, but I mean, y'all got to tell me how it is. You said it fixed it? It's working? Okay. Okay, so we took off the echo cancellation. I don't know when it decides to be weird and when it didn't, but it doesn't matter. But did y'all get to see the thumbnail though of men crashing out? Chat GPT created the thumbnail of the boys crashing out because they definitely are. So yeah, we'll just continue where we left off. Well, actually, I got to pull up this really quickly. Let me pull up the live stream so I can see the playback, so I can see y'all's comment section. And then we'll get into it because we were on a roll and the message will continue. The message has to continue. You said it sounds low now. Well, if it sounds low, you just go have to turn it up. Like you just got to turn it up because I mean we gotta keep the motion going. Like we gotta keep it going. I mean, because we gonna either have to make a decision to keep it going or just end the live stream because we've already done this. Several times, but just turn up your volume if you need to. Let me pull up the thing on my phone. I'm gonna run and grab a charger real quick, or at least a charger cord real quickly. Well, actually, let me get up and do that now. Let me just grab a cord really quickly. Y'all know these charger cords, they break so easily, especially the little metal part that's supposed to go into your phone. I feel like it's always coming out of mine. I feel like the cord is always coming out, but that's okay. There's a cord over here, so I got it. I just turned off the camera so I ain't bending over all on the camera and stuff. That just looked weird. Y'all know I ain't trying to sit down and be bending over in no dress. No, we not doing that. But so when we left, we were asking, who created monogamy and why was it created? So, because I want y'all to understand a few things. Things that men aren't really going to tell you because most of them throughout history, if we look at it, they've used lies and manipulation and fear to establish what they've already established. So understand that you are taking out of your nature and an artificial dynamic was created. You were sold a religion that backed and validated that artificial circumstance that involved you being oppressed, you not being able to be independent, which is in your nature, because in your nature, if you're independent, you're not really catering to the codependent, parasitic nature that men seem to have. Because if men are running around terrified of women's independence, then it's because they somehow get a benefit from women not being able to express their independence. That's what you need to know. Like men running around telling you, oh, that you will be much happier if you're in a relationship with a man, in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and catering to a man. No, that's what makes him happy. That's the keys to his happiness, not yours. It's already been proven that you are better off in every way, shape, and form, even sexually. You're even more sexually satisfied if you're single. So these men can do absolutely nothing for you that you can't do for yourself. So they created monogamy. So what they did is they created monogamy. They told you that you wanted to be monogamous, but in reality, no, monogamy benefited them. And that's why we asked, who created monogamous relationships and what was the reason for doing so? We asked ChatGPT. Monogamy was not created by nature. So we gonna go over this. And if you look at nature, you ain't gonna see a whole bunch of monogamy. So this is an undisputable fact. This is an undisputable fact that monogamy is not a natural construct, because we can observe nature. By and large, it's not monogamous. It was created for men. It was created for men for control. Men created monogamy because it benefits them. Men need monogamy in order to survive. Men will not survive if they don't have monogamous relationships. I want you to understand how much your independence is a threat to them, because this is what's being attacked. What's being attacked is your independence, because now they know what life looks for them if you have rights and what life looks for them if you don't. And now they see that you not having rights is a better situation for them. That's why you don't see hardly any men fighting for you to have rights, because they know inherently in them, if you have a right, that means you have a right to choose them or not choose them, and you've been exercising your right to not choose them. So, monogamy was institutionalized by patriarchal civilizations, meaning men. Meaning men created monogamy. Early human societies were often matrilineal or communal, with flexible relationships and no obsession with paternity. Meaning they didn't care who their baby daddy was. That wasn't, meaning when women are out here in early civilizations, nobody was calling nobody a baby mama. Nobody was calling nobody 304s, because that was the natural way. So nobody really obsessed over, oh, you ain't got a man at home for your kids. Statistics in 2025 says when the man in the home, he still ain't dealing with the kids. So you're doing it by yourself. You might as well do it by yourself. You were doing it by yourself, minding your own business, and then monogamy as law emerged. Then here comes men. Here comes women being matrilineal and communal, with flexible relationships, saying, okay, girl, these are our men, whatever. Women didn't care anything about this. They were like, whatever, girl, that we share that man. If you want him, you can have him on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'll have him on Saturday, whatever. We don't care. Women were rotating. They didn't care. They weren't fighting each other over men. They weren't competing with each other over men until men came and dropped monogamy. Then men said, yeah, this don't work for us because there's too many low tier of us and y'all ain't choosing low tier men. So now we got to put you in an artificial construct. This is what men did. Monogamy as law emerged with agriculture. Men wanted to pass laws to their biological sons. They created monogamy so you would create their genetic lineage, and you did. And that was your mistake. According to ChatGPT, you did this. They wanted you to just have sons. They didn't even care about you replicating yourself. So they said, you know what? We gonna instill this law and force these women to create us and not themselves. Now you have a society where it's outside of nature. There's more males on the planet than females, and that's a problem. It's a natural problem. When there are more males than females, it upsets nature, because nature does not warrant for a surplus of males. Nature is not constructed or designed for males to be in power. That's why you have all these problems going on. Patriarchal religion, controlling women's sexuality to maintain purity. But what if women told men to prove what they put in the Bible? Would this be possible if women said, okay, well, you told me there's a male God. I came from the rib of a human male. Can you show me that? Can you demonstrate that to me? I'm asking men now, can any man show you? Is there any scientist on the planet who can show you how women would be created from the rib of a man? No. Sorry, y'all, my thing muted. But so I'm asking, I want to ask a question. How likely would it that religious manipulation would have worked if women said, okay, I need you to demonstrate how we came from the rib of a man? I need you to demonstrate that. If women just said, okay, your male God exists, then I need you to, I need to see the life that your male God created. I need to see it. And not saying I need to see it come through a woman's womb. No, I need to see your God create life independent of a woman's womb. Which in the Bible, it said, yeah, their God can create life independent of a woman's womb from male rib and dust. Can we get shown how that happens? Can we get a demonstration of how you create a human from holy dust? Because again, remember, your God created with ribs and dust. Can we see how that happened? If women would have asked for proof of anything, still, if even today, if women make men prove what they're saying, they won't be able to prove it. You can take the wind all the way out of their sails by just telling them, prove it, then prove it. Because if it's valid, they should be able to prove it anyway. Why are you out here throwing concepts at me that you can't prove? The reason why men ain't creating humans from their rib and from dust is because there are zero humans that were or ever could be created from ribs and dust. That's why you ain't never seen it demonstrated. It cannot happen. But what you have seen happen is women create in their life and give birth. You have seen that. You want to see it now? Go to a hospital and look in a maternity ward. I promise you, you will see a woman giving birth to a baby that she created in her body. You ain't gonna see no science factory with babies being manufactured via ribs and dust. You ain't gonna see that. Men can't prove what they said that their male God is capable of. They can't, their male God can't prove it because their male God don't exist. There ain't a Christian woman on this planet who can prove that her God has any type of power. None. So as far as I'm concerned, women are running around praising and worshiping a powerless male deity that they have no evidence that he exists at all. Your mom ain't seen him, your daddy ain't seen him, your great-grandparents ain't seen him. You can't go read none of your ancestors' journals and they tell you that they saw an account of Jesus. The only thing you will see an account of a male God is in that damn Bible. You don't see no accounts of no male God from nobody. So if ain't nobody in your family line ever, nobody from the beginning of history, you can trace your bloodline back up. I guarantee you, you ain't gonna find nobody who ever laid eyes or have spoken to this male God. I promise you, it ain't. And I just want to know why women are believing in something that haven't even been validated or confirmed for them. So, because women were willing to believe in patriarchal religion with no proof, we hear state systems, marriage as a tool for order and inheritance. If you're going to create monogamy, you have to create marriage to go with it. You see how God is not creating marriage. Men are creating marriage. Men created marriage. Not God. Men created your concept of God, and then men also created your concept of marriage, and they told you that it just so happens that if you marry one of them and dedicate your life to one of them, you will win favor with this male God that you and none of your bloodline have ever met. Yeah, if you just stay and dedicate yourself in servitude to a man, a human man who's very flawed, and he'll tell you his nature is more like the devil's than God's, because if it's in his nature to lie, steal, deceive, and cheat, then that would mean he's the devil. Women ain't paying attention. Men are telling you they're the devil. When they say, it is in my nature to lie, it is in my nature to steal, it is in my nature to be, whatever they saying, cheat. They're telling you these are all of the traits of the devil. The devil is called the father of lies. The devil is said to only want to steal, kill, and cheat. Men are telling you they're the devil, and you still looking at them as if they're God. They're telling you that. None of their nature, there's nothing positive about what they say their nature is. Violence, lies, deceit, cheating, not taking care of their kid. Oh, it ain't a man's job to take care of his kid, only to help create them, right? They telling you that you need a man in a home to help you raise your kids, while they also tell you that it ain't a man's job to raise no kids. How are they getting these contradictions by you? How are they getting these okie dokes off? Either the man is there to help with the kid, or it ain't a man's job to raise a kid, but both of them can't be right. And I'm thinking, based on the statistical data, men are leaning more towards it ain't a man's job to raise no damn kids. That's what I do know. Look, men didn't want love. They wanted to track their offspring, claim women's labor, and pass down property. And that's exactly what they did. And that's exactly what they did. And they're still doing it. Let me do you a favor, Dusty Dan Ken, because if you're too remedial to remove yourself from out of a deceptive environment, you feel like you listening to a deceiver, why you still doing it? Why you still doing it? Why you come over here? You saw the title. This is what I'm telling you. Their nature is remedial. Their nature is to slither out of a crevice and bring some kind of dissenting energy. Why are you here, Bandit? If you feel like you over here dealing with a deceiver, do I gotta tell you that as a grown-ass man you can separate yourself? This is why I'm telling you. This is why they need you. They can't even think on their own. This bandit came in here because he's too dumb to not separate himself from a deceptive environment. Just dumb. It's like, do you want me to guide you on how to click off the video, you remedial ass bandit? Why do I have to think for you? Why do I have to tell you just simply click off the video? You have to choose the video. The video is not choosing you. The video ain't choosing you. You chose the video, dummy. Choose not to choose it. It's that simple. But look, men didn't want love. They wanted to track their offspring, claim women's labor, and pass down property. How could this possibly be untrue? Put a 1 in the chat box if this isn't validated by reality. That men don't want love. They want to track their offspring, claim women's labor, and pass down property. So they created monogamy. You didn't. Because you as a woman are not naturally monogamous. They are. Religious institutions enforce monogamy to control women. Not to make humanity better. To make it better for men, to make men's existence better. Christianity, Islam, and other Abrahamic religions codified monogamy, at least for women, to punish female autonomy, because this is your nature. This is your nature. And in order for them to get you out of your nature, they have to demonize your nature. So we gonna put that story of Eve in here where she's completely submissive to this man. We gonna put her in here. Make sex conditional on male ownership. Women validate this. I'm gonna tell you how women validate this. No womb, no marriage, no wedding, no womb. That's what these women are saying. If you don't legally bind yourself to me, if you don't become my legal owner, then I don't want a kid. So now what are women doing? They're out here trying to police other women's sexuality. Oh, marry before you carry, because of course you shouldn't use your body unless you're with a man. The man ain't gonna raise the kid though. It's a statistical fact that the man is not gonna raise the kid. So what these women are telling you is that you should not use your reproductive abilities unless you're tied to a man. And that's what men are saying. Men are saying that too. Men are saying that too. Men are saying the only time women should create life is if they're bound to a man in an unequal relationship. And that's what women are saying. You're saying that when you say marry before you carry. What you're really saying is legally bind yourself to a man before you reproduce. That's what patriarchy is saying. Look, so men reversed it on you. Yet men still practice polygyny, concubines, and mistresses, proving that monogamy wasn't about moral purity, but female confinement. And how is it that women still don't see that this is the case now? Women still don't see that this is an okie doke. Oh, they don't see it because men said it's in their nature. And women believed it because women said, oh, well, no, but you're not designed to have sex with all of these men. Mind you, your literal biology is designed for it. Theirs isn't. But we're not designed for that. No, we have to attach emotions to sex. When I come on here and say to me sex and emotions is separate, I don't know why y'all including them together, then people say, oh, well, that's not like a woman. That's like a man. Men are crashing out and killing you because you're breaking up with them. They didn't tell you that, though. They didn't tell you that, though. So the clingy codependence is a male trait. It's not a female one. Women aren't out here toe tagging men because they breaking up with them. Women ain't doing that. Women are doing the breaking up. And men are, what do men complain about? Women initiate 70% of divorces. Women are leaving our unions. Yeah, because women are naturally independent. And while you can create an artificial system, you cannot get the nature out of people. Their nature is going to surface eventually. And women's nature is surfacing, and men don't like it because women's nature does not support males. It don't. You shouldn't, because these are predators. These are self-identified predator. Because if it's in your nature to lie, deceive, steal, and cheat, you're a predator. And men said that's what it's in their nature to do. They can't stop lying to women because it's in their nature. They can't stop cheating on women because it's in their nature. They can't stop stealing women's labor because it's in their nature. They can't stop being violent. Don't they always tell you, oh, grape is always going to be here? Well, men are doing the graping. So are y'all saying that y'all can't stop graping? But I thought y'all were closer to God. Why is it that the ones who are saying they're closer to God are also telling you they can't stop lying, cheating, killing, stealing? But you're supposed to be closer to God. Why are you acting closer to the devil, but you're telling me that you're acting closer to God? Wars, men. Rape, men. Pillage, men. Do we need to continue? Mass shootings, male. Gangs, males. Pedophiles, males. Serial killers, males. Do we need to continue? Do we need to continue? Because this, how are they appearing as God to you when they act like the damn devil? Like men will tell you, oh, there's always just going to be rapists. It's something we should just deal with. Well, ChatGPT says if you're not around, rape will go away. So it kind of sounds like rape is nearly exclusively coming from you. Another form of stealing. Another form of stealing. Monogamy created legal and economic dependence. Once women were legally bound to one man, they couldn't own property, couldn't divorce freely, had no sexual or social autonomy. So by creating monogamy and backing it by religion, they got you in a position they needed you to be in. Marriage was the only access to safety or social legitimacy, not a romantic choice. So even back then, they're telling you, you being with them back then was not a choice of yours. You didn't choose them. They know that there's no real scenario where you're going to naturally choose them after you know who they are. They know there's no real scenario. That's why they're saying, okay, now we got to take back out their rights. Because the only way we can get them is if we force ourselves on them. That's why they won't leave you alone. They keep complaining about you, but refuse to leave you alone. So we go ask ChatGPT, why won't men just leave women alone despite constantly complaining about them? Why won't men just leave women alone since they constantly complain about and demonize women? Why won't they just leave women alone and separate? Because listen, men got a lot of complaints about women they refuse to separate though. Men can take the whole half of the country and go exclude themselves. Women will mind their own business. Oh, here's why. Because men can't afford to leave women alone. Yeah, sounds like they need you. Again, ChatGPT analyzes information from all over history up until today. They can't afford to leave you alone because they'll die if they do. Not emotionally, biologically, economically, or socially. They depend on women's existence even as they demonize and degrade them. Because the very thing that they have hatred for is the one thing they cannot live without, and that's you. And they're mad because they can't. No, this is parasitical. This is not codependent. This is parasitical. This is what this is. This is parasitical. When something is completely dependent on you, that's a parasite. That's a parasite. Here's the unfiltered evidence-based truth. Evidence-based truth. We ain't just saying stuff. So we ain't gonna come on here and tell you that women, you don't need men. We gonna show you that you don't. We gonna show you why you don't. We ain't gonna come on here and say no, men refuse to separate from you because they need you. We gonna show you that they need you. And we gonna show you what they need you for. We ain't gonna just tell you, oh, you were created from the rib of a man, but then never show you. We gonna tell you, we gonna show you everything we telling you. The nature is parasitical. Men need women for survival. Women don't need men. This is your problem, women. This is why they crashing out, women. This is why they taking your rights, women. This is why they're banning your reproductive autonomy, women. This is why they sit up here and try to force being in relationships, women. You're not doing it. They are. Are women running around pressuring men for relationships? No. Men are on the internet crashing out because women are saying, I want to be what? Independent. I want to do what? Go back to my nature. And men are saying, no, we need you a little bit too much for that because we know we need you to create us in your body. We need you to birth us. And then we need you to nurture us into our adulthood and continue doing it because we're parasitical. The whole time we go demean and degrade you and demonize you and disrespect you and harm you, we go do it. That's what they telling you they go do. They're telling you that they want to exploit you because they don't do anything for you. They have no leverage except the law and their physical strength. That's all they have. That's why you hear them running around, oh, we dominate forth because of our physical strength. Well, what if we just didn't birth you though? Then you and your strength don't exist. I mean, but wouldn't you and your strength just go away if we just, I mean, but this is your problem, is that men need women for survival and women don't need men. Men cannot reproduce without women, but women increasingly can without men via science. Why do y'all think they got so mad at Ebony K. Williams? Ebony K. Williams didn't just go out and have a baby without a man. She made a statement. And she made a statement unintentionally in a climate where that statement is going to become a reality for women. She gave women an option that didn't involve men. That's what Ebony K. Williams did, and men lost their shit. Because what Ebony K. Williams did is she ran the hammer down on the nail that said women don't need men. And men said, oh, you need as if you want a baby. Ebony K. Williams walked in the sperm bank and said, no, I don't. Because you go give your sperm anyway. Men's sperm is cheap and very easy to get. So the bottom line is we don't need you physically. You go get your sperm. You go get your sperm. Men are running around willingly giving women their sperm. Women, we don't even gotta ask for it and you go get it. We don't even gotta ask for it, you're gonna get it. We can inseminate ourselves. We can carry and create our own babies. You can't though. Because even if you go get the woman's egg, you need to preserve the egg. You need the egg fertilized. And then you need a body to put it in. And it needs to be a woman that you can trust to nurture that life into a human being. You just can't go do what we can do. You can't. They know we can't. Ebony K. Williams can walk into a sperm bank and be pregnant tomorrow. A man can't walk into an egg bank and have a woman pregnant tomorrow. They can't. A woman can do that. If she's ovulating now, she goes in the sperm bank now, she puts the sperm in her body now, by tomorrow she's pregnant. Women can do that easily. $60 is all it'll cost. $60. The starting price for a man to go buy a woman's egg is $5,000 or more. They already starting off. Most of your men can't afford to walk into an egg bank and drop $5,000 on an egg. Then he doesn't have the money to go pay a doctor to preserve that egg, which he's going to have to do immediately after getting it. He's going to have to preserve it. After he pay for the egg, he's immediately gonna have to pay to preserve it. Immediately. Women ain't gonna have to do that. She can just take the sperm and put it in her body. She can literally take the sperm, go into a bathroom, and put it in her own body. A man can't do that. Men can't do that. There is 0 ways for men to reproduce without a woman's body. No way. There's no way. There's none. They can tell you about ribs. They can tell you about dirt. I would tell them go get them. In fact, you need a rib. You need some dirt. I'll provide it to you. Create a human. I want you to do what you said you can do. I want you to do what you said your male God can do. Tell him to create a human in the absence of women. You in a climate that you need to now. But men ain't on their knees praying. Men ain't on their knees praying though. You ain't heard men mention putting in no call to Jesus. They ain't doing mass prayer circles of men. They womb watching women. They shouldn't be. Because if you got a God who knows how to create by rib and dust, then bitch, get the ribs and dust moving. Get them moving then. Because women don't want to have babies. Do your prayer circle. Pray to God. But men ain't praying to their male God. Why? Why ain't you praying to your male God to have babies? Why? If your male God created the woman, then have your male God create another batch of women who want to have babies for you. Do it. Do it if that's what you can do. Men cannot reproduce without women, but women increasingly can without men via science. Men rely on women for emotional regulation, domestic labor, social stability. Studies show that men's health declines without women. Oh, this is a problem because they're already a genetic mutation. They're already a mutation, so this is the problem. Single men die earlier, report more loneliness, and are more likely to engage in self-destructive behavior. Sounds like men need to be putting respect on the names of the people that they need. That's what that sounds like. Meanwhile, women thrive without male partners. They're trying to convince you that you don't, though. This is their problem. They see that you do, though. They want to convince you that you don't, but there's too much evidence that you do thrive without a man. You are showing that you thrive, that you are better off without them. And if men know, if women know we are better off without you, then he has no leverage to get you. The minute that this man knows she's better off without me, all of his leverage, what leverage do you have towards a woman that knows she's better off without you? Because now the only thing you're presenting as a burden. Should I allow this burden to come disrupt my life or not? Or should I do it or should I not? I'm thinking, I don't want the burden. Men don't just like women. They're structurally dependent on them for survival. Men don't like women. Men have shown that they don't like women. Men demonize and harm women too much to like them. No, they don't like you. They don't like you because they think poorly about you, but they need you in every way, shape, and form. They don't like you because they're running around bigging up their physical strength, but their physical strength can't help them survive. Like I said, it's just like P. Diddy. What does P. Diddy's money matter if it can't get him his freedom? What does P. Diddy's money matter if he's sitting in a jail cell and can't get out? What does men's physical strength matter if you can't reproduce without that woman? Your physical strength means nothing if you need her body to create you, because that automatically says if her body can create me and my physical strength, then she doesn't need me. She doesn't need me. My physical strength doesn't matter if I can't even exist. If she don't birth me, she got to create me. If she don't create me, I have no physical strength. They know this. You don't know this. That's the problem. The problem is you don't know this. They do. Globally, women perform the majority of unpaid labor, child rearing, housekeeping, elder care, emotional support. What if you just didn't? They would perish in 2 generations, less than that. Men wouldn't survive 1 generation without you. They wouldn't survive 1 generation. That's why they will sit up here and complain about you, but they won't separate. Even if they talk about you in America, oh, I'm just going to go to foreign women. So you're not going to be self-sufficient. You're not going to be independent. You're going to go latch on to another woman. So you need women. Then you need women. They need women. They ain't going to tell you I'm going to leave women alone. We ain't hearing these men say, I'm going to go date a man, even though women are telling them, go date a man, problem solved. Just go date a man, problem solved. They won't do it. They won't do it. They'll just, and I'm telling, that's why they saying they get their passports. I'm saying, where's the standoff? You want to get your passport and go be a burden to another woman? Go be a burden to another woman. I have no problem transferring a male burden to whatever women want them. That's why I'm telling you, if I get cheated on, she can have them. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm not that girl that's going to chase you because you cheating. You cheat, I'm competing, I'm giving you to her. Bottom line, that's the only thing. She can have you now. Because what am I going to do with a disloyal bandit? What am I doing fighting for somebody who cheated on me? What am I doing competing for a man who put his dick in another woman? She can have him. She can have him now. The only thing I can do is release him to her. Because if you over there, you want to be over there. I'm not going to convince. Listen, if I'm in a relationship getting cheated on, I'm not dumb enough to convince myself that the man liked me more. If he liked me more, why is he at homegirl's house? No, he likes her more. She can have him. Now, men will disagree with that, and I know they will. They'll say, oh, it ain't like that. Oh, if he over there, he don't mean he like her more. Then you gambled and lost. Then that just means you gambled and lost. Why would I move like that? Because I don't need to be in a relationship with a man, and I know I don't. If I'm in a relationship with a man, it's because I chose to be, not because I felt like I needed to be. And that's the difference. Men have put women in a position to where women think they need to be in a relationship with men. I don't think I need to be in a relationship with a man. I actually recognize in real life, I am better off and happier when I don't have a man. I've noticed that consistently throughout my life. From the moment I started dating at the age of 18, I noticed that when I wasn't attached to a man, it was my happiest. Happiest times when I wasn't attached from a man. I am not one of those single women that say, oh, I just want a boyfriend. Oh, I need a boyfriend. I'm one of those single women who is like, oh, I like my independence. I don't want a man disrupting this. I don't want a man disrupting what I built, because that's exactly what he's going to do. 9 times out of 10, that man is not coming to do for you. He's coming to take from you. Men ain't sitting up on the internet talking about what they want to do for women. They telling you what they want women to do for them. I don't want to do anything for you, sir. I'm sorry, I don't. But there are women who will want to do something for you. I'm just not one of them. I'm not sitting up here. You think I'm spending my days figuring out, oh, what can I do for a man to pick me? I'm trying to get you to leave me alone so I can be safer. Like, I'm trying to be safe, so I need men to leave me alone. Because that's how I maintain my safety. Even in marriages and households where women work full time, they still do most of the domestic work. So men have literally spent their existence showing you that you don't need them. Literally. To sum this up, men created this entire illusion to try to convince you that you need them, all the while showing you don't. If men left women alone, they'd have to do for themselves, and most aren't built or socialized to survive that. Misogyny is projection, not readiness to separate. This is what you need to know. I told you, everything about them they're projecting onto you. When men demonize women, they're too emotional, modern women are trash, etc. They aren't showing strength, they're showing insecurity and unmet dependency. They are. They're showing insecurity and unmet dependency. Their hatred is rooted in entitlement. She owes me love, sex, or care. Rejection, she won't submit, so she's the problem. Jealousy of female self-sufficiency, right here. Jealousy of female self-sufficiency. She doesn't need me. Ain't men running around saying, I want to feel needed. Why? Because it's easier to exploit and abuse somebody who needs you. That's why. Because if I'm needed, then I can abuse at will. They don't want you to be dependent on them so they can do for you and uplift you. No, it's be dependent on me so I can abuse you and you can't escape. That's what they want. They don't want you to be able to escape abuse. That's what your dependency on them, your manufactured dependency on them has led to abuse. That's it. If men truly wanted separation, they will leave, obviously. They don't, because their hatred and they cry for access, not detachment. Listen, if men thought they posed more benefit to you than you pose to them, they wouldn't even be around you. You likely wouldn't even be alive. Because men have no problem being extremely violent. They've already shown that's in their nature. They throw around their strength. It's all they have. It's literally all they have. Literally, men's strength is all they have. It is the only thing that they have. They have nothing except throwing around force. And if you look around history, they didn't use intellect, they didn't use kindness, they didn't use godliness, they used violence. That's all they have. They only have violence and lies and manipulation. The lies and manipulation ain't working, so what are they threatening you with? Violence. Oh, well, men who aren't attached to women, they tend to be the more violent. So you mean I'm supposed to be attached to you, but if you ain't attached to me, you violent? So I'm the one who's needy and clingy, but you being violent if a woman ain't around you, and I'm happy if I don't have a man, I'm not out looking for another one. I'm fine by myself. You over here being violent, though, because you can't be with a woman, though. Please do understand that if men didn't need you more, in fact, if men didn't completely need you and you weren't completely designed to benefit them, they would have already ran away from you. They would have already ran away from you. They have not left because they can't. If you leave, they will try to go get you. In fact, if too many of you tried to leave, they would shut the borders down. If women said, okay, if men don't want to leave, we'll leave men, what do you think they gonna do? What do you think you gonna do if women said, we gonna make a mass exodus out this bitch? What do you think men would do? They would shut down, they would literally put a cage around this country to keep you in before they let you leave. No, Reese, they despise the fact that they need you. That's what they despise. They don't despise you. They despise the fact that they need you. They don't want to need you, because if they need you, then they're not all powerful. Because that's what it really breaks down. How powerful is he? How superior is he if he needs her to create him? No, they don't want you to escape. What part are you missing? They won't survive without you. Like, literally, you being oppressed is necessary for their survival. Why aren't y'all getting that? That's what I'm trying to show you. No, they're not going to let you leave. Society rewards men for dominating women, not leaving them. Men are praised for conquering women sexually, controlling women through marriage or money, having access to as many women as possible because they know they shouldn't. They fear being seen as incels, losers, simps, weaks, or mind you, they are simps. All of them are simps because they won't leave women alone. You're a simp if you're complaining about women but you refuse to leave them alone. Go sit on the dick of your choice, sir. Please. Please go sit on the dick of your choice. Then we don't have to hear you railing against women. Because, yeah, I can have a problem with a man and go sit on the dick in a minute and get up and not care about that man and leave him right where I found him. Very easy for me to do. Very easy. Because most of them, all they have to offer is dick. ChatGPT said all you got to do, all they got to offer is what comes out of their dick. ChatGPT said they dick ain't even what they got to offer. The only thing they naturally provide is what comes out of it. And they gonna give you that anyway. What do men naturally provide to women? ChatGPT says outside of sperm, not a damn thing. Not a damn thing outside of sperm. From a strictly biological and evolutionary standpoint, men do not naturally provide much to women outside of sperm unless they choose to. So even the little bit that they could have to offer, it ain't natural, and they would have to choose to give it, and they ain't choosing to give it. Any additional provision, emotional, physical, material, is not automatic and often requires social conditioning, external pressure, or negotiated benefit. Meaning, men are not going to do nothing for you from the kindness of their heart, so why are you doing it for them? Why are you a baby factory out of the kindness of your heart to a man who won't even take care of that baby? You will lay down and have a baby for the man and he won't even help you take care of it. He won't even help you take care of it. This is backed by statistical data. But why do they got to be conditioned? Why do they got to be socialized to be decent humans? Because notice how it said this is not automatic. They're not automatically going to give you a damn thing. They're not naturally. So it's saying if it's not automatic, then it's not a part of their nature. If it's not automatic, then it is not in their nature to give you anything out of the kindness of their heart. You should reciprocate that energy. You should reciprocate that energy. Let me break this down with no romantic filters. When men provide biologically, naturally to women, sperm, the only natural necessary contribution. That's it. That's all men have naturally that you will want. That's it. But this isn't enough to get you to dedicate yourself to them. This is not enough. Having a baby naturally, because the only reason why you want to be a baby factory now is because you're being conditioned to by men. They told you that their male God requires it. You didn't challenge them on it. So you just having babies because you think that's what you were created for. No. You weren't created just so you could pop out babies. Just because you can does not mean that is your sole purpose. It means you can. And it doesn't mean that you should. And you definitely shouldn't if the males don't even want, they don't even care enough about their genetic legacy to raise it. Why are you having babies with them? They not, this ain't the stock you should be choosing from. That's it. Sperm genetic diversity, which can help offspring survive in changing environments. These are the only two natural purpose man's existence serves, none of which would make you gravitate towards them to dedicate your life to them. There is no biological imperative for men to stay, protect, or provide after insemination, which many of them don't, unlike in species where males are critical for surviving offspring. Notice how humans ain't on here. Of the male species who are critical for offspring survival, humans are not on here. I want you to notice that. And we'll ask specifically. What are the species in which males are critical for the survival of offspring? We're going to see if it say humans. I think it ain't going to say that. What men do not naturally provide without effort is protection. Historically, yes, but protection is often from other men, so it's a problem they create and then solve, which means you don't get a cookie for being violent and then choosing to not be. Provision. Only in male-dominated economies, in modern systems, women can and do provide for themselves. No, this needs to be only in male-dominated oppressive economies. Emotional support. Men are not socialized to develop or offer this freely. Loyalty. Male mating behavior across species is usually driven by maximizing sexual access, not monogamy or loyalty. They simply want to use your body. Why would you let them? Child care. Human females are biologically equipped for gestation and primary caregiving. Male caregiving is learned, not innate. Which is why right now they are acting like inseminators. You see male nature, you see they ain't family men, you see that they're not built to be fathers, but you still want them to be. They ain't built. They just want the sex, they don't want the responsibility. And for them to do these things, they would have to be taught. They weren't taught. In nature and society, in many species, males leave after mating, or must be actively fought off if they threaten the offspring. In humans, male usefulness post-reproduction is conditional. Depends on whether he's trained, emotionally intelligent, socially accountable, or resource stable. We know they're not. So what's going on? Women often create utility in men through social, emotional, or economic labor, and you need to stop doing it. So bottom line, men naturally provide sperm. Everything else, love, care, provision, protection, is not innate. It's telling you this is not in male nature. It's saying this isn't in male's nature. It's not in their nature. It's optional, performative, or extracted through effort. In many cases, women do better, emotionally, financially, and physical, when men are absent rather than ineffectively present. And this is a lot of women who are married to men. They're ineffectively present. That's it. A lot of their husbands are only husband by presence, but they don't raise kids. They don't act like husbands. They're not supportive. So he's basically just there. So look, so the value men bring must be earned, not assumed. Meaning make him prove that he has value, which is how nature designed it to be. Make him prove that he can bring value to him. Don't assume he has it just because he's a male. Would you like a breakdown by species or a chat showing male utility? Now, what I want to know is what species of males are needed for the survival of offspring. This is what we want to know. So birds, let's see, are humans on here? Because we asked What species of males are needed for the survival of offspring? So let's see if humans made it on here, because I'm guessing they ain't. But here are the species across birds, mammals, fish, and insects where males are needed for offspring survival. Let's see if it's humans. Emperor penguins. The male incubates the egg on his feet for months in freezing temperatures while the female forages it. Without him, the chick would die from exposure. Other monogamous birds, albatross, swans, songbirds, males share incubation. Why? Eggs require constant warmth and chicks need frequent feeding. Shared labor increases survival. Canids, wolves, fox, African wild dogs. Some primates, marmosets, tamarins, and gorillas. Certain fish. Tell me when we get to humans. Some bats. Humans, question. So look, when it gets to humans, it's like, do you really need them? I get with humans, it's debatable. Human infants are highly helpless for a long time, but male necessity varies. In hunter-gatherer societies, which we are not in, cooperative parenting and alloparenting by grandmother siblings often substitute for male support. In modern societies, father presence improves emotional and social outcomes, but is not biologically required. So the only thing you would go on is this. This is the only thing this would hinge on, but we know all of the data says even when men are in the house, they don't raise their kids. So no, you don't need humans. So no, human males are not, no, they're not. You don't need human males for the survival of your kids. In summary, species where the males are biologically or behaviorally required for offspring survival are these. Human ain't on there. Bird, mammal, fish, bat, primates. Not humans. And they tell you exactly what they do. The males incubate, they do feeding, and they do defense. In birds, mammals, protection, food sharing, caregivers. Male pregnancy and birth for fish. Bats, Ceba's short-tailed bat, warming, grooming pups. Primates, marmosets, gorillas, carrying, guarding, food sharing. Again, human ain't on here. The human male is not on here because the human male is not needed, and he's showing you that he's not needed. He's showing you that he's not needed. That's why his dumb ass ain't on here. It says fine. It depends. Fine. It's doing this for the pick-me's. It's saying fine. For the male-identified women, we can say it's questionable whether the males are needed, because we know male-identified women are going to twist themselves in a pretzel trying to find some natural need for males that don't exist. Just say you want them. Just say you want them. Like, girl, just say I want them. Because really, you should pick a man because you want them, not because you need them. So, girl, just go ahead and say you want them, but stop trying to say they serve a natural need. They do not, and that's why you can't mention one. They don't. The men who are in your home, they ain't raising no kids because they think it's your job. The only reason why they in the home is because they'll tell you it's guaranteed puss. That's what they'll tell you. If you get married, it's guaranteed sex. Seahorses are on here. Seahorses and pipefish. Male pregnancy and birth. Look, the female said, you gonna carry this baby and you gonna birth it. I know exactly what the seahorse is. The seahorses said, nope, you gonna have to do this because we ain't doing it. The seahorses said, if you got, as a male, if you got the ability, then get your dumb ass out there and start creating these. But the males, these males don't really be pregnant. They more of incubate after, I don't know, they weird. They're weird. Either way, humans ain't on here. The point is, human males are not on here because human males are not biologically required for offspring survival. They're not. It's men trying to make themselves into something that they're not, and it doesn't work. And see, men can create a persona. Anybody can say they're anything, but they can't embody it. So, final truth. Men won't leave women alone because they need women's labor, energy, bodies, and presence, even if they claim to hate them. They're not staying out of love. They're staying out of dependency, entitlement, and fear of irrelevance. If you want, I can explore some women are forcing separation anyway through celibacy, political lesbianism, separatism, and legacy building without men. And this needs to happen because men need to either be better people, be people who bring actual value, or just get left, period. But I don't see why women would voluntarily just give their lives over to men. Like, why would you sacrifice your life for men? Like, I'm not about to do that. That's not my job. I'm not here. I wasn't created as a woman to serve men. And there are 0 men on the planet who would convince me of that. And even if you wouldn't even be able to threaten me with a male God, because your male God would have to show up and show out. Period. Your male God would have to show up and show out. Okay, y'all telling me a male God gonna come strike me down? Tell him to do it then. Tell him to do it on camera so we can all see it. Scream war star while he doing it. Like, because if he black, he gonna want to anyway. So tell your God to get your camera, descend from the heavens, show up and show out, and bring the cameras and scream war star so we can know you actually could do what you said you was gonna do. You're not going to compare. I don't buy into stuff that ain't proven to me. I don't buy into it. You saying there's a male God, he created women from a womb, from a rib, prove it. Because when I have a child, female child, because that's all I'm willing to have, I get to choose, and my child would only be female. And the bottom line is, I would not be teaching my female daughter that she was created to worship a male God, or that she's created to serve a man. No, she's created to express herself in whatever way she wants to. No, she will not think that she needs to be dependent on a man. You are not created to service men. You were created with the option of creating males, but you damn sure ain't dedicating your life to serving one. You absolutely will not. You will not get no Mrs. degree. Absolutely. You will get an independent, this is what I want to spend my life doing degree. That's what you will do. But your life will not be spent in service to no damn male. Unless that's what you want. And if that's what you want, go do it. And you can suffer the consequences. So I would tell her, just know that there are extreme life-threatening consequences to dedicating your life to a man, if that's what you want to do. It comes with abuse. It comes with lies. It comes with cheating. It comes with diseases. Men can prove me wrong at any point in time. If men were proving me wrong, we wouldn't be having these issues. The problem is men are not proving any of this stuff wrong because they don't feel like they have to, because they feel like they already got you caught up in religion. If they already got you worshiping a male God, you go dedicate your life to a human male. You can say you ain't, but your brain said differently. Your brain said if you accept male God, you are going to worship human males. You are. And that's what happened. And that's what happened. Because when we asked ChatGPT, what is women's problem with other women? When we asked them, and we go ask it again. What is women's problem with other women? This is what we go put on here. What is women's problem with other women? This is a bold but valid question. When people ask, what is women's problem with other women, they are often referring to, this is not what I'm asking. Oh, they said, so let's break it down, both where it comes from and what sustains it without coddling. This is what I'm asking. Where does women's issue with other women come from? Because see, women think that they naturally just got a problem with other women. No, that was manufactured too. You calling other women hoes and bitches and competing and, oh, she want to take my man. Oh, she a harlot. She a Jezebel. Yeah, that was orchestrated too. That was orchestrated too, because you can't have loyalty to women as a woman and then be in service to men. So no, we got to strip these bitches of their sisterhood. That's what they said. No, the sisterhood has to exist if patriarchy is going to be entered in. They said patriarchy and female sisterhood cannot exist in the same place, and it can't. So, Root cause of women's issues with other women. Patriarchy weaponizes women against each other. They have to. They have to. Patriarchy doesn't work unless they do this. It does not work if they don't break up your little girls fair. Under male-dominated systems, women are often taught their value comes from male validation, which creates competition. The competition is not natural, it's manufactured by men. Tell me when we get to men's godlike traits. Tell me when we get to some behavior that mimics being closer to God. Because men told you man was closer to God. Let me know when we get to some male godlike behavior. If there's only one seat at the table for the desirable woman, the wife, the boss, the it girl, then other women become threats, not allies. That's why you have women, at least she got the ring. Well, at least she got the ring. Well, that man like her, he ain't gonna leave for you. What if both of you just left his dumb ass where you found him? Something I never do. Let me tell y'all, if you go through my history, there is zero, not one. And I'm telling you, there isn't a single case of me initiating any type of argument or fight over a man to another woman. It does not exist. I ain't on her phone. I ain't in her DMs. I ain't telling her to stay away from my man. I'm giving her that man. That's what is in my history. What is in my history is when I got cheated on, I yielded. That's how I do. If I get cheated on, I yield. Take them. You can have them. Because all I'm doing is giving you a cheater anyway. I'm going to yield that cheater over to you, ma'am. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to compete for him. I'm going to yield. I'm going to remove myself. The table is no longer an option for me. I'm not going to be mad at her, though. You think I'm going to be mad at her? No. If she initiates and get on my phone, that's what I'm mad at her for. When you jump on my phone, then I'm mad because you on my phone. You go lay up with that cheating ass man and wait for him to cheat on you. Because how you got him is how you about to lose him. You got him by way of cheating. I yielded him to you. Have him. I'm telling you, sometimes the worst thing you can do is let somebody have who they're cheating on you with. Let him have her. Let him have her. Why am I holding on to a cheating man? And see, this is the thing. Women aren't looking at these men as problematic. If he's creating dissension between two women and trying to get you to compete and be violent toward each other, how is that a man worthy of fighting over? That's not a man worthy of fighting over. I'm not fighting over a cheating ass man. Take him. Take him. He had his dick in you. Take him. You think I'm going to be sitting on the internet screaming over and over like Cardi B because I'm married to a serial cheater? No, because I'm not married to a serial cheater. If you are cheating, if you want to be with other women, you're not married to me. It's that simple. I don't need to be married to you. Being married to you doesn't benefit me. You need to be convincing me to get into a marriage with you, as far as I'm concerned. How does me marrying you benefit me? And if women, when men proposed, if women said, how does it benefit me to marry you? What are you going to bring? How is my life going to be better by marrying you? How? How is it? Tell me, sell me into the marriage. Because statistically, this ain't looking right. Statistically, this ain't looking like something I need to get in. And I'm sorry, women sitting over here calling me baby mama, single, you ain't got no man, that ain't enough to make me ignore these statistics over here. You need to tell me something that's going to make me ignore these statistics, because these statistics are saying my mental health is on decline, my physical health, my money, my independence. No, bro, this ain't looking good. This ain't looking good. Why am I marrying you? Why am I marrying you? I guarantee you there are 0 women who have asked a man who asked him to marry him. There are 0 women who asked, how is marrying you going to benefit me? 0 women. I don't need to do a study. I don't need to look nothing up. I know there are 0 women asking men, how is marrying you going to benefit me? They ain't. Because women understand marriage is for men. It ain't supposed to benefit you. Women voluntarily get married knowing it's not supposed to benefit them. So why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Why are you getting into a union where you know that you're only desired here for free labor? What are you doing? A woman can't even tell you post-marriage how she benefited from that marriage. She can't. She can't, but if she chooses to lie, we can look it up statistically and say she a lying ass bitch. And chances are, if she black, she gonna be just that, a lying ass bitch. Hi, what's your name? What's that chick's name? Whatever her name is. The skinny one who dances really good, Iman, and like Iman Shumper's ex-wife. Hi, girl, because that's what she was doing. That's what women will do, because women have egos too. So if women fail in a relationship, they ain't gonna come out and tell you they failed. They gonna pretend like they didn't. Yep, Tiana. Tiana pretended that she didn't. Tiana lied, and Iman's exposed and said, no, I'm gonna show y'all that she lying. I'm gonna show y'all she lying. She was dealing with a bandit too. And see, that's a problem. Women need to stop acting like they need to lie so they can look better than the next woman. Pick me behavior is rooted in scarcity model designed by men. This is the trick pony that men sent to y'all. Pick me behavior is rooted in a scarcity model designed by men. Mind you, there is no scarcity of men because there are more men on the planet than women. That's not natural, that's manufactured. So there is no scarcity model on men. There's more men than women. There is no scarcity model. The reason you have disruptions in birth rates is because there's too many damn males. You don't need this many males. You need more females. Because you have a dying society. When males outnumber females, that's when your society starts dying and your planet. Males should never, under any circumstances, outnumber females. They do in humanity, and that's the problem. Beauty hierarchy and Eurocentric standards. Society pits women against one another based on looks, skin tone, body shape, hair texture, age, and other. Look at what men reduce women to. Men haven't made women better. They've made them worse. You being in connection to men haven't elevated you. It haven't made you better spiritually, mentally, physically, or anything. It's made you worse. It's made you worse. Colorism, texturism, and fat phobia are examples of internalized systems where women harm other women based on colonial standards. Internalized misogyny. Many women have absorbed the same sexist values men project. Women are too emotional. You can't trust other women. She's just jealous. We see women saying these things. Oh, single mothers chose to be single mothers. Oh, you should have picked better. Oh, you should marry before you carry. All of it is going to be geared towards you should have bound yourself to a man. This leads to distrust and projection, especially in female friendships or work environments. There are women who will literally say they don't want no female friends. Put a 1 in the chat box if you've heard of women who say, I don't want no female friends. I don't get along with other women. Oh, me and other women don't mesh right. Why? Why don't you? Exactly. And I thought if we being honest, we've all heard that. Put a 1 in the chat box if you've heard a woman say, I don't like women. I don't like women. I prefer to be around men. Women loudly proclaim that they prefer to be around what harms them the most. Because we gonna ask ChatGPT, who's inflicted more harm on women, women or men? Let's put it. Historically and presently, which gender has harmed women the most? Females or males? Now we know the obvious answer to this question. We know. Undeniably and overwhelmingly, it is males, not females, who have harmed women the most, both historically and in the present. This is not an opinion. It's evidence-based, cross-cultural, and trans-historical fact. Yet, women prefer to be in the company of men. Yet, women will tell you, I don't like women, I ain't gonna be around women, but you will never hear them say, I ain't gonna be around another man. A woman can get harmed by 20 different men, she's still going for 21. But let one woman sleep with her man. Her husband can clear out her whole family line and she'll still be with him. She'll still be with him. Let a woman, let her friend talk to her man though. Let her friend talk to her man. And watch her not hold her man accountable. Watch her attack her friend. Watch her do it. And watch her say, no, I'm going to stay by him. This is my man. This is my baby's daddy, which means he shouldn't have been betraying you, ma'am. But they'll still write off their friend and keep the man there who did more harm. We know women do this a lot. We know women do this a lot. We know they do. We watched the Kardashians do it. We watched them. That black lady was supposed to be their family friend. Tristan done cheated on Khloe before, during, and after that. But who did they get rid of? The woman. When a man cheats on a woman, do the women hold the men accountable, or do they call women, oh, she the Jezebel, she the harlot, she knew he was with somebody? Well, ma'am, he's married to you. He went through the whole ceremony, so he knows more than her. But they still blaming the women. Oh, the women ain't innocent. She ain't innocent. She knew that he was married. Well, he knew more. Ma'am, he went through the wedding. Ma'am, he made the vows to you. Ma'am, she did not. He sought her out. Ma'am, he put himself in that position, ma'am. Or if you, what's her name, Tabitha Brown, oh, I can't have single women around my man. I don't trust single women around my man. I don't trust single women around my man because a single woman sat on my husband's lap while she was in my home. Ma'am, why didn't you check your man? Ma'am, why do your husband feel comfortable allowing women to sit on his lap, ma'am? Ma'am, why did your husband seek out these other women? Ma'am, if you can't have single women around your husband, ma'am, how does that not mean that you think your husband will take part in those single women? Yep, and her husband allowed it. But if you go look in the chat box, all through it, oh, women are Jezebels. Oh, women are just so loose. They're sluts. That's what women say about them. They don't check the man. They try to check the woman. Patriarchal systems created and enforced by men. Men have built, ruled, and enforced systems that have denied women education, property, voting rights, and autonomy. Enforced marriage, pregnancy, and sexual subservience. Legally sanctioned wife beating, marital rape, and honor killings. Example, ancient Greece, women were legally property. Colonial America, commercial laws erased women's identities. And you were watching while only 5 men challenge it. And you literally still seeing a total of 5 men on the internet speaking out against it. Just 5. There are 0 men who have created groups to attack based on the removal of women's rights. None of them. But women still prefer men. Taliban rule. Girls banned from school, women punished for going outside. Every major religion was created and interpreted by men to restrict women. Every major religion. They already telling you the origins of it. This is how they got you. Now you can choose to put it down, or you can choose to continue to believe it with no proof. Male violence against women globally and persistently. Over 1 in 3 women worldwide experience physical or sexual violence, almost always at the hands of men. Femicide, the killing of women for being women, is a male-driven epidemic in Latin America, South Asia, Africa, and beyond. Rape, sex trafficking, child marriage, domestic abuse, and acid attacks are overwhelmingly committed by men. Institutional betrayal of women, male-dominated fields. Male-run courts dismiss rape and assault claims. Male-led governments pass anti-abortion laws. Males are not fighting against this. Male doctors dismiss women's medical concerns for centuries. Male employers punish women for pregnancy, motherhood, or speaking up. Males are doing that. Present harm by men in relationships. Highest rates of physical and emotional abuse are committed by male partners. In workplaces, sexual harassment, gender pay gaps, lack of maternity protection. We still ain't got to the godlike behavior of men though. We still haven't validated men are closer to God though. Ain't no behavior pointing towards God. In workplace, sexual harassment, gender pay gaps, lack of maternity protection, online, doxing, revenge porn, misogynistic attacks, primarily by men. In law and politics, men overwhelmingly pass laws that restrict women's autonomy over their bodies. Women still prefer men though. What about harm by other women? Yes, some women harm other women through jealousy, betrayal, internalized misogyny, mother-daughter trauma cycles. This is black women. Social competition, but this harm is usually horizontal, not systemic or lethal, is often a byproduct of patriarchal conditioning, rarely includes institutionalized violence, murder, rape, or legal oppression. So what is really your problem with other women? Men. Females have caused the greatest, final verdict, males have caused the greatest, most sustained, and most systemically violent harm to women throughout all of recorded human history and continuing today. Harm from women exists, but it is a symptom, not the architect of women's oppression. Women prefer men though. Let's put women overwhelmingly prefer to be in the company of men though. So what does this say about women? You either ignorant to what really harms you, or you don't care because you're a male worshiper. Excellent question and a sharp one. If women overwhelmingly prefer to be in the company of men, despite the fact that men are the primary source of their systemic and interpersonal harm, then it raises serious questions about conditioning, self-perception, and survival strategy, not female nature. Then the question needs to be about the manufactured state that you're in. Let's unpack what this really says about women and the environment they've been shaped in. This behavior reflects conditioning, not innate preference. Women are socialized from birth to seek male approval. Stop doing this to your daughters. Like women, this is where you come in. Stop socializing your daughters to chase men. Stop telling your daughter that at the end of the rainbow is a male. No. Associate male proximity with safety, power, protection, and validation. If you ask a woman, why do we need males? The first thing she gonna mention, aside from creating babies, which we really just shouldn't be doing, but she's gonna say, oh, we need them for protection. And then when we say, oh, okay, protection from what? She will try to twist her arm around to say women are harming other women, but women are not. You need protection for males. Exactly. Thank you. View other women as rivals for male attention. You don't have to raise your daughter to be this way. You don't have to raise your daughter to view other women as a rival. Even when men are harmful, the social message is you are safer with a man than without one. And this is absolutely untrue. You are safer without a male. This isn't preference, it's psychological grooming under patriarchy. Women are rewarded for male alignment and punished for female loyalty. Women who cater to men are often labeled pick-me's, but they are also rewarded with attention, validation, and sometimes resources. Women who center other women are called man-hater, bitter, lonely, or lesbians, socially isolated or mocked. So it becomes less risky and more rewarding to be in male company, even if it comes with abuse or disrespect, and it does. Stockholm Syndrome and survival psychology. Many women emotionally bond with their oppressors, not because they love men, but because they've been raised to depend on them for emotional, financial, or physical security. It's easier to rationalize abuse than admit you have no protection. This is where women are at. Black women mostly. This is where black women are at. Because white women are the ones throwing out, men are protecting us from themselves. Women are telling you that the only protection men are providing to you is the protection for men. But black women will say, no, well, we need them for this and this and this, and black men do this, and if we do, why are we not with black men? And it's like, girl, please stop. Black men do nothing but harm you. Knock it off. They fear social exile more than male harm. So y'all just care too much what men think. Y'all need to stop caring what society thinks. This is your problem. You care what other people think instead of your outcome. This is survival behavior, not free choice. Male spaces are often validated while female spaces are devalued. Society uplifts male-centered environments as normal or important. Female-centered spaces are labeled catty, dramatic, too emotional. So when women say, mind you, too emotional, but it's men screaming and crashing out and murdering people for breaking up with them. Like, and women are too emotional, but men are planning to harm you and rape you if you don't voluntarily give yourself to them. Somebody ain't paying attention. So when women say, I don't get along with other women, what they're really expressing is, I've been conditioned to see male approval as more valuable and female connection as risky or inferior. And this is where women are at. Sexual and romantic desirability. Straight women often prioritize being around men because heterosexuality is normalized and enforced. Can we stop this? Heterosexuality is the way of nature. Can we just accept this? Why can't we just accept that two things can be true? That it's not a bad thing for people to be homosexual, but heterosexual is nature. Why? Just because something exists in nature does not mean it's a part of nature. Yes, nature is heterosexual. The design is heterosexual. That can be true. And also what can be true is that homosexuality is not a bad thing unless it's predatory. It's not a bad thing. It's not. This has always been my opinion. I've never thought homosexuality was a bad thing unless it's predatory. We know 90% of heterosexuality is predatory. We ain't gonna act like it ain't. We ain't gonna act like nearly the entirety of male heterosexuality is 100% predatory. We ain't gonna act like it ain't. It is. These men are not when a man immediately meets a woman, is he looking to do something good for her or to exploit her? He's looking to exploit her. He's looking at, how can I take from her? What lie can I tell her so I can get access to her body, use her, and then leave? All of male heterosexuality is predatory. I don't care what anybody's saying. Heterosexual males are beyond predatory. All of their practices are predatory. And the only reason why it's not labeled accordingly is because it is nature. That's the only reason why it's not labeled accordingly, because heterosexuality is nature. It is. It just is. If 50% of the population was homosexual, you would have a big problem. You would have a huge problem. If 20% of the population was homosexual, you would have a problem. So yes, homosexuality is normal. It is normal, and it should be accepted. It absolutely should, but it should not be in abundance. It cannot be in abundance. It cannot. Nature is not designed for homosexuality to be in abundance. It is just not. Nature ain't even designed for males to be in abundance. So it's like, if we can just be honest here, male attention equals social proof, even if it's degrading. Many women still hope for male love, partnership, or protection, even when they're rarely experienced it. So this is women just being fantasy driven. So this is just women having a fantasy of men existing in a state that is not natural to them. Because it's not natural, it's not a part of male nature for them to be loving and protective. This is not their nature. And they'll tell you this is not their nature. I don't have to sit up here and tell you this is not male nature. Go look at a podcast. They'll tell you that this is simp behavior. They'll tell you that this is female behavior. They'll tell you that this is not their nature. This is hope-based proximity, not evidence of emotional safety or respect. Final verdict. If women overwhelmingly prefer male company despite male-inflicted harm, this doesn't say women are irrational. To a degree it does. It says they are conditioned, rewarded, and sometimes forced to align with the very people who harm them, because that's how patriarchy maintains control. The reason we ain't seeing no godly behavior is because it's ludicrous to think. Is it rational, based on evidence, to conclude that if a living sky God exists, that it would be male? Because I'm going to show y'all. This is going to tell you why you ain't seen no godlike behavior exhibiting a male. Is it rational, based on evidence, to conclude that if a living sky God exists, that it will be male? Let me show y'all how preposterous this notion is. AI will even tell you this. No, it ain't rational. This is not rational. For you to even think you have a male God, it's not rational. They're telling you this is not a rational belief. Based on what? Not based on opinion, based on evidence. Based on evidence, it is not rational for you. How, if you're looking at evidence, you wouldn't conclude that God is male. You wouldn't. No, it's not rational, based on evidence, to conclude that a living sky God exists, it will be male. That belief is cultural, patriarchal, and anthropocentric, not scientific, not universal, and not evidence-based. There is zero empirical evidence for gender deities. None. No objective evidence proves that any God exists, let alone a God with a biological sex. Gender is a human social construct rooted in reproductive roles, not something that applies to cosmic or metaphysical entities. I still don't understand how they got this women to believe this. I don't get it. A sky God does not require genitals, hormones, or chromosomes. So to say a God is male is to project human traits onto a non-human concept. 2, male God is a patriarchal invention. Most male gods, Yahweh, Zeus, Odin, Allah, etc., reflect the values of male-dominant societies. So if male-dominated societies are oppressive, restricting, and violent, then that wouldn't be anything associated with God. That wouldn't be anything associated with God. These gods were written into being by men during times when men ruled and wanted divine justification for that rule. Scripture and myth were political documents, not scientific reports. Black women think they scientific reports. Black women think that these scriptures are scientific reports. They will literally tell you that the Bible is a science book. It is not. These gods are described with male anger, male dominance, male vision, not because gods are male, but because men created gods in their own image. If women had written the dominant theologies, the God might have been female, genderless, or multiplicitous. Global theology does not always assume a male God. Indigenous, African, and Eastern spiritual systems often have goddess. Isis, Oshun, Kali, Amaterasu. Gender fluid deities, I ain't even gonna go here, but it was half male, half female. I ain't gonna play with that name. Non-gender life forces, Tao, energy, and spirit. And if you watch things like Moana, you can tell they do depict it as a female, but based on the qualities. And that's because females create. So anything that creates life is automatically going to be female because males don't create life. So the ideal of a male sky god is not in universal, it's Western, Abrahamic, and colonial. Masculinity does not equal superiority or cosmic authority. Men are actually learning this. This is where they're at. They're in a state of cognitive dissonance based on this. And this is why they're crashing out. They're crashing out because masculinity doesn't equal superiority or cosmic authority. Because again, how superior is your masculinity if it needs to be created by femininity? Like, masculinity has to come through the womb of the feminine. So at the end of the day, you can never be superior to what you need to create you. Females don't need anyone to create them. They are self-sustaining. A female can birth a female easily. And she can do that without a man. It's already been proven by science. So, females don't need anyone to create them. They're self-creating. Males need to be created. Masculinity has to come through the womb of femininity. So, that reality cannot exist with this. Because reality contradicts this. Even in terms of they God. Like, you literally in a time right now where their very male God is just as disempowered as they are because they can't use their male God to get these birth rates up. They can't. They got to attack women's womb to get the birth rates up. So not only are they not at the cosmic authority, they God ain't either. They God ain't no cosmic authority. They ain't praying to they God to get this birth rate up. They attacking your womb. There is no logical link between maleness and cosmic power. In fact, the feminine principle, womb creation, life-giving, is far more connected to actual biological power. Yet societies dominated by men have reversed this, creating gods that mirror their own egos, not cosmic truth. Yeah, men turned themselves into gods. And women believed it. Final verdict, no, it is not rational or evidence-based to assume that a living sky god, if one exists, will be male. That belief is the result of patriarchal projection, not divine revelation. A true cosmic force will likely be beyond gender or contain all genders because gender is a limited earthbound framework. Sex isn't, gender is, but gender describes differences in based on sex. I don't know why we say that words are social construct with no context. Yes, the word is socially constructed, but what it describes is not. The word is describing something. They act like the word is just there and it's an emptyless word that somebody just made like it don't describe. No, the word describes something. What the word describes is not socially constructed, it is biological. Oh, so was I not showing y'all this whole time? No, I had to be. Where is the share screen thing though? It doesn't look like I'm sharing the screen, but then it does. I don't know what I had done over here. Oh, stop screen. Okay, I didn't see the bar. I didn't see the little bar, and I didn't realize my camera was off. I didn't even see the little bar over there, so I got confused. I'm getting off of here, but I am going to give the final word for y'all, and I am going to say again, I will reiterate that people constantly ask how to get my content on Patreon. The address is here, scrolling across the screen here, patreon.com/Cynthia G. My Cash App is here also because people ask for my Cash App, so it's also scrolling across the screen. It's just not in big capital letters like Patreon is. I can make it that way if it's easier, but yeah, the patreon.com Cynthia G, that's how you can get all of my content. If you want to watch specific content, you don't have to subscribe to do that. You can literally just pay for one video. You can pay to view one video or one live stream. You can do that, or you can get a membership. You don't have to get a membership to see the content, but you will have to pay to see the content. You don't have to get you don't have to pay by subscription but you will have to pay to view the content. So if you just want to see me talk about something specific, like if it's the Diddy trial or something, you can go and just watch a video on that. You can do that, or you can subscribe. But either way, the address is up here scrolling across the screen. I will also pin the address to the comment section, because this video, after 24 hours, is going on Patreon. Because y'all know YouTube ain't gonna allow. Come on, y'all listen. You know the climate that we in. YouTube ain't about to allow this. It ain't. So I'm gonna snatch this off on YouTube and upload it to Patreon. So this ain't gonna be on YouTube at all. Soon as this gets done, this is coming off of YouTube, because YouTube ain't about to let this ride. They got an agenda. They got a climate, and the climate is geared towards make women have these babies, not make men do prayer circles and have their male God get these babies. I don't know why y'all not asking for it. That ain't gonna ride with me. You ain't gonna come policing my womb, but you said you got a male God out here who can create from ribs and dust. Sound like it would be easier to get your male God to do it. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like to me that men should be petitioning their male God to get some damn babies. You do not need to usher in Handmaid's Tale if you have an existing male God who can create from ribs and dust. Men have plenty of ribs. Why don't men extract DNA from their ribs and create people? And create a race of women who wants to voluntarily have babies for them in oppression? Why don't they just do that? The agenda is alive on YouTube, yeah, and that's why I'm mostly on Patreon. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I recognize what YouTube is, and YouTube ain't gonna let you have no freedom of speech. Not in this climate. Not in this climate. They not about to listen. I'll tell you, if any of the content creators choose to do any content contrary to the current agenda, oh, you're going to have to do that off YouTube. You're going to have to do that off YouTube. You're going to have to. Now, listen, they ain't saying you got to go home. They ain't saying where you got to go. But they just saying you unless you white and male, you're not doing that on YouTube. Unless you white and male. If you not white and male, you're not doing that on Facebook. If you not white and male, you're not doing that on Instagram. That's why the only videos you primarily see being pushed back on women's reproductive rights are by males. They by males. And it ain't a lot of them. It's about 10 males out there speaking on women's behalf, and I don't know how that's okay with women, as men sit up here and try to verbally tell you they're protectors, but they doing nothing to protect you against these laws that are putting you back in oppression. Oh yeah, they don't want to protect you from that, because you being oppressed benefits them. So why would a predator want you to have autonomy? No. Predators don't want you to be empowered. Predators want you to be vulnerable. That's why they're not fighting for your rights, because legislation against you creates a vulnerable situation for you. Predators like vulnerability. Predators don't look for strong prey. They look for weak prey. That's why these males keep running around telling you they stronger. They think that because they're physically stronger, then that means that they got everything they need to subdue you. They act like there's not a great equalizer around here called the Second Amendment, right? Last I checked, men weren't bulletproof. And I ain't telling nobody to go do nothing, but I don't understand how men are running around here acting like they're invincible because they have a 30%. Sir, do you think that you cannot die because you are 30% stronger than a woman? That's what you think? Sir, are you suggesting that there has never been a woman who's taken a male life despite the 30% difference in his strength? Like, there's a man who's literally going around and women are irritated with him, rightfully so, because he's running around talking about men have a monopoly on force based on their strength difference. Sir, a hammer can be the great equalizer, sir. A gun can be the great equalizer, sir. A knife is often the great equalizer, sir. Some poison can be the great equalizer, sir. Because you're going to lay your dumb ass down in the comfort of a woman at some point. Men act like they never have a vulnerable moment around women. Like, why would you run around and put out this dumbass message that somehow, because you are somehow 30% stronger than women, then that means what? You're invincible? You can't be harmed by women? You can't be subdued by women? You surely wouldn't open your dumbass mouth to say that, because you can go look at the plantation files and see that that ain't the truth. It's the fact that these men are running around acting like that for me. They need a damn timeout. That's what they need. They need to be they need some consequences. They need to be put in a timeout. You don't deal with people who running around bragging about how they can harm you. This is a dumbass male who, instead of being better, who instead of realizing, yes, women, we are trying to require a lot for you, we should probably give you something in return. Rather than doing that, he's running around talking about, well, men got a monopoly on force. Your dumb ass is asking to be corrected. And you better hope the universal energy don't correct you in a very humiliating way. That man is begging the universe to have him undone by a woman. That's what he's asking for. I want y'all to understand that that man is literally calling in the energy of being taken out by a woman. That is what he's doing. I don't know. I forgot his name. But it's a white man out here. He's an older white man, salt and pepper hair and beard. If y'all know him, you can put his name in. He in a whole bunch of videos running around. Oh, if women had, this man is so dumb. He opened his mouth and said, if women had access to all of the guns, they still couldn't subdue men. Or you're not that stupid. Yeah, Scott Galloway, you're not that dumb. You're not that dumb that you think that you would be able to. So what you're either saying that the women will be too dumb to pick up the gun and use it against you, or that the gun wouldn't work on you because of your 30% strength difference. You sound dumb. Because there's a whole show out there called Why Women Kill. And most of it is to men. Most of it snapped. Bruh, you ain't seen Snapped? You ain't seen 2020 in Dateline because it features most of your people. Y'all getting cleared out by Becky. I don't know what this dude is talking about. I've seen Snapped. I've seen 2020. I've seen Dateline. So I've seen the sheer amount of white women who taking these males out. What are you talking about? You have a monopoly on force. Sir, are you dumb? And I don't understand why people don't ask this man, does 30% strength differential, does that translate to, does that equal invincibility? Because I don't think that translates to you being invincible. You have a life, sir, that can be taken by a woman. It's happened many times. There are many males who have been taken out by women. Let's see if ChatGPT. What is the percentage of men who are killed by women? Because this man act like he can't die because they stronger than women. Well, it says it's low worldwide, but that's because women just don't kill. The overwhelming majority of male homicide victims are killed by other men. So, listen. Men do have a monopoly on force, and it seems like they're using it against each other too. So, even if women are not stronger, sir, we can use our sexuality to just get another man to kill you. If we can't do it, we'll just manipulate another man into doing it. That happens all of the time. In fact, men constantly run around and tell the lie that women are setting them up to get killed. So you clearly know might not possess the strength, but we can manipulate a man who does possess it to use it against you. It's really not that hard. All that means is that women are not likely to challenge a man to a fist fight. Women don't fight fair in that situation. No, they don't. So Courtney Taylor didn't just clear Christian Obumseli of his life. I guarantee you, Christian Obumseli was probably more than 30% stronger than Courtney Taylor. I guarantee you, Hannah Cobb, who just cleared Tailbo Rackins, I guarantee you Telba Rackins was physically stronger than Hannah Cobb. She cleaned the gun and killed him, though. But that bullet still penetrated, though. His 30% strength difference didn't keep him alive in the face of Hannah's gun that she was cleaning. So, sir, I just need to understand what exactly you're saying here when you talk about this 30% strength difference or this monopoly on force. First of all, I need to know why you saying it, and then I need to know what do you mean why you saying it. Sir, are you trying to intimidate women into thinking if we don't give ourselves to you willingly, you will just take us by force? Is that what you're saying, sir? Because I do think that is what you're saying, sir. I think you're just tiptoeing around it because you're too cowardly to just put it out there. If that's how you feel, put it out there. You feel like because of your strength, that if women don't give in to you, you can just take it. And I'm saying there's something called self-defense, and in a lot of states, they don't require you to retreat. I can tell you there's open carry states. I can tell you that there's self-defense states, there's stand your ground states, and I can assure you anybody is going to believe that a woman felt like a man who was running around saying he had the monopoly on force. She definitely feels like her life was threatened. I would feel like my life was threatened if I was around this man. There's no way I would feel safe and or comfortable around a man who's constantly reminding you that he had the strength advantage and that he can just use his strengths to subdue you. That's a man that you're going to need to be protected from. That's a man that you probably need to exercise your Second Amendment right on, because he already telling you he violent. Where is Carol Baskin's missing husband? Girl, I don't know. But, I mean, these men think they strength advantage is all they need. Still dying out, though. Birth rate ain't increasing based off your strength advantage, though. You still need a woman, though, to birth you, though. And I don't know how that's escaping you. Because you can try to force births. Let's ask, do forcing births work? Let's just ask really quickly before we leave, because this is what men think they're gonna do. It don't work though, but we gonna see, because this is what men are telling you. Oh, we'll just tie you down to the table and force you. Does forcing women to give birth is forcing increase birth rates long term? And I'm telling y'all, it's gonna say no. Do we know it's gonna say no? No. They think they are. No, forcing women to give birth does not increase birth rates long term. In fact, it often creates the opposite effect over time. Social backlash, reduced fertility, and population decline. Here's why. Forced birth violates bodily autonomy and creates trauma. When women are denied reproductive freedoms, mental health deteriorates, physical health is put at risk, trust in healthcare and government erodes. This is where we at. These conditions discourage future pregnancies, even for women who might have otherwise wanted children. This is literally all they doing. All they're doing is pushing women to not want to have babies. That's all they're doing. But again, they're not logical or rational. Evidence shows forced birth policies don't sustain high birth rates. Countries like Romania, under Cassius siege, forced births by banning abortion and contraception in the 1960s. Birth rates spiked temporarily, then collapsed again, alongside mass poverty, child neglect, and increased maternal death. Long-term resentment, underground abortion, and demographic crisis. Demographic crisis. If men were logical, they wouldn't be referring to force, they would be going to cooperation. Logic tells you get more from cooperation than force. Coercion creates spikes, not sustainability. Voluntary birth declines when women's needs aren't met. Women are more likely to have children when they have access to health care, supportive partners and family structures, job security and prenatal leave, control over when and how to become mothers. They're not trying to increase birth rates. They're not. And I don't know why women think that they trying to save babies that they don't even want to eat once they're born. They don't even want your kids to eat no damn food before they go sit in the school and learn. But you fell for the okie doke of they want to save the babies. And no, they want to control women. They want to control you. This ain't about no damn babies. They don't even want the babies. This is about controlling you. Not no damn babies. And anybody who think this is about babies is extremely naive. This is about controlling you. Forcing birth does not increase birth rates. They've been here in history before. They've done it. They see that they don't work. Why are they doing it again? Because they want to wage war on women. Duh. That's the only thing I can think of. If forcing birth doesn't increase birth rates, it only harms populations, then your goal is to wage war on women. It is not to create higher birth rates. It's just not. It's just not. They don't care about the kids that are alive. They over there having meetings about kids not needing school lunch. They don't care. Women bought into the okie doke though. I'm about to get off of here though, y'all. I should have been gone really 30 minutes ago. I should have been gone. Y'all should have been gone 30 minutes ago. I should have been gone. I should have got off already. Yeah, Michigan. There's no way I would ever go back to that shithole, Michigan. Yeah, because that's exactly what it is. Like, please. Anyway, I'll see y'all later, like on Monday, probably. I'll see y'all later. Bye.